team, I trust you're doing well today. Thank you so much for taking the time today to really to invest in your life, in your business, and quite frankly, in your legacy. Welcome to Family Reunion 2022. My name is Dusty Oglesby, and I get the gift and honor of being our Director of BOLD, which stands for Business Objective and Life by Design. And what I'm going to be talking to you about today and walking alongside you and partnering with you on is those two things, your business and your life. And in particular today, we're going to talk about the third of the 6 personal perspectives, which is moving from E to P. Now remember, where these personal perspectives came from was Gary Keller asking the question, what is it that differentiates those that achieve at such a high level from those maybe who don't achieve as high? And as he asked that question, that's where the 6 personal perspectives were born. Today we're focusing on moving from E to P, moving from entrepreneurial and breaking through to purposeful. Another way to put that is going from where we are, right? And being able to break through to where it is that we desire to go. Here's one thing I know that each and every single one of us right now have in common. Where we are today is not where we intend to be tomorrow. Where we are today is not where we intend to be a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, and someday, right? So what we're going to talk about today is how do we go from being entrepreneurial, breaking through that fundamental ceiling of achievement, that natural ceiling of achievement, and getting to purposeful. Now, here's what I know as we get started. You and I can't go where we're going if we don't know where we're at. Can we all agree on that? We can't go where we're going if we don't know where we're at. It's no different than a GPS in your car, right? When you get ready to go somewhere, you get in your car, you put in your new address, right? Your GPS drops a pin to where? Where you are. And then it gives you directions by which you get to where you're going, your new address. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about where you are. We're going to set the new address, and then we're going to make sure that we walk through the directions on how do we get there. Come on now. Come on. Hey, as we get started today, let's talk about where we are. I want to do a quick exercise with you just to give you awareness, and I want you to write this down as we get started. Awareness is transformational. Okay, so there's no judgment around what we're about to do, so don't put any judgment on yourself. I've got no judgment over this. Just get an understanding and an awareness of where am I right now today so we can understand how to go where it is that we desire to go. All right, so here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Would you draw 3 circles on your paper? I'm going to hold it up for you. There you go. Everybody see that? 3 circles that all intertwine together. Now, we have a bold law. One of the 34 bold laws we have in bold is your business grows to the extent that you do. And if we're going to talk about going from entrepreneurial to purposeful, we're going to talk about how do we as people grow and how do we also as business grow. You see, our business is a byproduct of who we are, and then what we choose to do, then we have our results. So draw those 3 circles there. And in the top left circle, would you write the word business, right? Your business grows to the extent that you do. Business objective, life by design. Top left circle, business. Top right circle, would you write the word life? And I want to talk to you first about your business. I want you to think about right now where you are, whether you're in your car, you're sitting down at your laptop or computer, wherever it is you're at. I want you to think about your business right now. Now, as we get started, I want you to ask to do yourself a favor. Be honest. All right? Honesty is the fertile soil where you and I grow. So be honest. I want you to rate your business on a 1 to 10, 10 being the very best, 1 being the very worst, and I'm going to ask you to write that number in that circle where it says business. 10 team means I go to bed at night and I sleep well because I know when I wake up in the morning that I have purpose in my business. I'm operating out of systems and models. There is an order and rhythm. I'm making the amount of money I desire to make. I have the leverage that I desire to have. That's a 10. Or 1 would be, Coach, I'm going to be honest, I'm not real sure how to spell business, right? Like I got a long way to go here, coach. Just rate yourself 1 to 10. Write it in that circle. You got your number? Okay, now let's go to your life. I'm going to ask you the same question around your life. Be honest. Team, don't write down a 5 if you know you're a 2. Can I lovingly tell you that's why you're a 2? Because you keep convincing yourself that you're a 5. So be honest right now. 10 here being, Coach, I get up with energy, vitality. My relationships are in order. My life has a rhythm to it. Are you guys tracking with me on this? You have joy regardless of the circumstances. That's a 10. Or a 1 being, Coach, hey, if I'm honest, man, I don't even know where to begin. I'm tired. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. And I don't know my first step. What's your number? Write it in that circle. Now here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Your business grows to the extent that you do. They go hand in hand. I'm going to ask you to multiply those 2 numbers. You can use a calculator. We use a calculator here in Texas. I got no judgment. Just multiply those 2 numbers together. Okay, so if you had a 5 and a 5, you would be at 25. And then write that number down in the bottom circle. Okay, now let's just have a conversation about that number. Can we all agree, if I wrote down a 10 in business and a 10 in life, that would be 100? That would mean I'm getting up every day and playing at 100% of life and business. You guys tracking with me on this? So I want you to look at your number at where you are playing right now. And again, there's no judgment, just awareness. Where are you playing right now? Let me ask you a couple of questions. When you look at that number in that circle, do you like it? Does it excite you? Even if we had a 9 and a 9, we're at 81, right? So we all have opportunity. If I were to ask, how many of you put down 10 and 10? I already know the answer. That probably not any of us did. That we all have opportunity to grow. My next question is, do you feel that number? Right? We have another bulldog that says logic makes you think and emotion makes you act. Right? So if we are feeling down or feeling in fear, right? Then could it be that we're actually operating out of that? My final question is this. Do you want to change that number? You want it to look different over the course of the next 12 months? Write one word in that bottom circle where you put that number at. Write the word me. Me. I have great news for you today, team. You get to draw the circle around yourself today. Take responsibility for everything inside of it. You know, we're really good at drawing the circle around other things or other people. And I'm going to ask you, draw the circle around yourself today. Work on everything inside of it so we can take that number to the number that you desire. That's what we mean, moving from E to P. What does the E stand for? It stands for entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial. That means, team, what comes natural to us. What comes natural to us. And here's what we know. If we only do what comes natural to us, another way for that may be what's comfortable for us, what I like to do, what I want to do, what I'm just naturally good at, right? At some point, I promise you with integrity, you're going to hit a natural ceiling of achievement. Maybe you're sitting there right now like, man, he's talking to me. You just keep hitting your head over and over and over again at that natural ceiling of achievement. And here's what happens to every one of us, team, when that happens. When we hit that natural ceiling of achievement, what happens is disappointment sets in. Disappointment sets in. We're not where we desire to be. We're not where we know we have the capability and ability to be. And it frustrates us and we get disappointed. And so when we get disappointed, we go to the next part of E, and we go to resignation. You ever resigned at a job before, right? Like put in your 2 weeks notice and said, hey, it's been fantastic. I love you. I've learned so much. It's not me. You know, it's not you. It's me, right? What happens when you resign? Can we be honest? You quit. Okay? Now, typically you quit because you're going to something else that you think maybe, could be, should be better. We call it greener pastures, right? Greener pastures. We look over on the other side of the fence and we go, man, I don't really like where I'm at, so I think I'm going to go over there to the other side of this to the greener pastures. Can I tell you something about greener pastures? When you look on the other side of the fence and you see all that beautiful green lush grass, can I tell you why you see that? Because someone on that side of the fence tilled the ground, planted the seeds, watered it, grew it to the point that you see. And we don't get to go over on the other side of the fence and just inherit their hard work and their talent and their green grass. Can I encourage you to do something today? Grow where you are planted. Planted people flourish. Take a look at the ground below you and go, okay, what am I missing? Where do I need to till? What are the seeds I need? What's the watering that needs to come in? Because here's what we know. When we will stay where we are planted and we will get out of our natural abilities and begin to seek what is unnatural, we're going to get to purposeful. Think about it this way. Maybe you're a runner, okay? Or a golfer, whatever. I mean, pick something that you're just naturally good at. Okay, let's say we have a naturally good runner. Could you go out tomorrow and run a mile? Yeah, sure you could. Could you go run a 5K? Probably. Okay. Could you go out tomorrow at the drop of a hat and run a marathon? Probably not. Let me ask you this. Could you go out and run tomorrow a marathon at an Olympic level? The answer we know for all of us is no. Here's why. Because we haven't worked our way to that. We're naturally good at it. I can run, coach. Can you run at an Olympic level? You know how we break through that ceiling of achievement? We make a decision to get purposeful. And purposeful means doing what comes unnatural. Doing maybe things that are not comfortable, right? One of the things we coach you to in the bold room is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Do the things that don't come natural to you. Do the things that maybe you don't want to do. If you keep hitting the fundamental ceiling of achievement, we've got to really assess where we are, and I can guarantee you we are missing a relationship, we're missing a skill, we're missing accountability, right? And so as we get into being purposeful and doing what comes unnatural, this is where we step into the space of getting accountability, focus and accountability around proven methods of training, of coaching, and consulting. You want to go where you haven't been before? Then you got to make sure you have a coach and an accountability partner that can help hold you accountable to the directions, to the actions that are actually going to lead you to where it is you desire to go. Like we talked about earlier, if you're going to go from where you're at to your new address, then we've got to begin to bring focus and accountability. The other thing we've got to do is this. I think a lot of times we think the only way you have a breakthrough is you have this big, massive moment of breakthrough. Can I tell you guys something? Breakthrough comes from time on task, done consistently over time. It's the little day-to-day habits that we bring focus and accountability around that lead us to where it is that we desire to go. I want you to think about your habits. Think about it this way. Wherever you are, look at a door. Now I want you to think about what holds that door up. What makes that door operate in the manner it was designed to operate? It's not the frame, team. It's the hinges, right? If you take the hinges off of that door, you no longer have a door. It no longer can do what it was designed to do. Okay? So those hinges on that door are what cause it to move in the manner that it does. Those hinges are no different than the habits in your life. Some of you today, man, we got to replace the hinges. We've been operating with the wrong ones. They're tired, right? Some of you today, we just got to put a little WD-40 on those hinges. Okay? We've got to begin to operate in the manner that we are intended to do. Here's what I can tell you. The framework is already laid out for us. Okay? The framework's here. Everybody look at this. Here's the framework. The MREA, right? Here's every model that you need, the lead generation model, the budget model, the economic model, the organizational model, right? Here we go. Here's another one. Shift. The models, the systems, they're all right here. That's the framework. Now, we've got to get into accountable action and actually do what's in the framework. That's the hinges. You want to know the gap between where you are, between being entrepreneurial and then getting to the point of purposeful? Here's the gap. It goes in what you already know. It's between what you already know, and everybody hear me, write it down, and what you actually do. It's bringing focus and accountability around the main middle three, which is systems and models and strategic options. If you keep hitting that fundamental ceiling of achievement, then we've got to make sure, right, that we get a coach, that we get a mentor, that we get a consultant, that we have accountability and focus around the systems, the models, the tools, the strategic options that are going to lead us where it is that we desire to go. Our mindset, team, our mindset will not just get us to abundance. It takes mindset and action. What does Gary Keller teach us in the Shift book about what our response is, what our option is when a shift occurs? It's we have to shift with it. That we've got to have a mindset shift and an action shift. If you intend to go from where you are to where it is you desire to be, then we've got to have a mindset shift and an action shift that's going to lead us to where it is we desire to go. It's going to take new habits, focus, and accountability. Let me give you a couple stories about what I'm talking about, moving from E to P. Not just going on what's natural to us, but beginning to do what's unnatural to us, what's uncomfortable. So when I was growing up, I grew up in Abilene, Texas. I don't know if y'all can tell I'm from Texas. I grew up in Abilene, Texas, and I lived at 4073 Concord. Lived there for 18 years of my life. Okay? When I was in elementary school, my parents would pick me up from school. We would drive down North 6th. We would get to Willis. We would stop at the red light, and we would turn left, and we would go home. We did it the whole time that I went to elementary school. And then when I went to middle school, we didn't have a very big town, okay, at all. It was like on the same street. And so my parents would pick me up from Mann Middle School. We would go down North 6th. We would get to Willis, and we would turn left. And we would go to 4073 Concord. When I went to high school at Abilene High School, I would drive down, now I got my license, I would drive down North 6th, I would get to Willis, I would stop at the red light, and I would turn left. I did this for 18 years of my life. And then I went to college. I went to college in the same town. Loved Abilene. Went to college in the same town. And my parents did something to me. I just want y'all to know this is what they did to me. They sold my house. They didn't ask me. It wasn't a part of the process. They said, hey, we're going to sell the house you grew up in. And they moved to the other side of town. And so literally for a solid month, I would be going to see my parents, and I would drive down North 6th, and I would get to Willis. And where had I turned for 18 years of my life? Left. And so I would just naturally, intrinsically just turn left. I literally would have to get to the red light at North 6th and Willis. And for months, literally, I would have to stop and think, Dusty, don't turn left. Turn right, turn right, turn right. You don't live there anymore. Am I making my point, team? If you want to go from where you are to where you desire to be, if you want to go from what naturally you do right now you may get to the light and you naturally turn left. It's what you've always done. I'm going to ask you today to turn right, turn right, turn right. You don't live there anymore. You have a new address. Your new address is called purposeful. Your new address is called focus and accountability around systems, models, and tools, and doing the action required to go from where you are to where it is you desire to be. One final thing I'll give you an example is when I was 36 years old. I'm 44 today. I know you thought I was 25. I'm not. 44 years old today. When I was 36 years old, I made a decision to get braces on my teeth. Okay, now let me just tell you why. Okay, so I grew up Southern Baptist preacher's kid. It wasn't that we didn't want me to have braces when I was growing up, right? Like everybody got them when they were like 11 or 12. It was just we didn't have the money to do it. So as I got into real estate and started making money, I decided, you know what, man, I'm going to do something I have desired to do my entire life. I'd always struggled kind of around where my teeth were and my smile and been self-conscious about it. And I said, man, I'm going to go get braces. So at 36 years old, I went to the #1 pediatric orthodontist in Frisco. He was a friend of mine, Dr. Benham. So I went in and I said, Dr. Benham, I've always wanted to do it. Man, it's time for me to do it. And they showed me this rendering of how beautiful my teeth would be and how they would line up and straighten. And man, they sold me. I was on it. So I just wrote them a check for $8,000. They said, all right, get down in the chair. And they put those braces on me. I want you to know I walked out of that orthodontist. I was so proud, 36 years old, got my braces on, looking like I'm 14. You know what I mean? And about 2 hours later, after I got my braces on, I was so proud of. About 2 hours later, something happened, team. Here's what happened. Pain happened. Are you with me? Pain happened. Man, my mouth hurt, my jaw hurt, my neck hurt, my head hurt. There wasn't any part of it. There were parts of me that hurt that I didn't even think could hurt. All right? Now, by the time all this happened, they'd already closed for the day. All right? So, team, I couldn't even eat mashed potatoes. Are you with me now? I know you can't fully tell this, but I'm 5'6", 125 pounds on a good day. All right? Like, I got to eat. Okay? I couldn't eat. It just hurt so bad. Okay? So, literally all night, man, I'm popping Advil, and I'm just waiting for 8 o'clock the next morning. 8 o'clock the next morning hits. You know what I do? I call Dr. B's office. I get Dr. B on the phone. I said, hey, I'm going to be real honest with you. I love you. I'm thankful for you. I'm coming back in right now. You're taking these things off. That's it. I'm done. And he's like, Dusty, woo, woo, woo. Like, you came in, man. We showed you. You were so excited. You told me you wanted this whole life. I said, look, man, the pain is not worth it. I'm not doing it. I'm coming back in right now. Take them off. Okay? And here's what he did. He coached me well. He said, Dusty, hey, I know you're in pain. He said, in fact, most of the phone calls we get are adults, not children. You know what I'm saying? He said, do me a favor. Would you just give us 7 days? Would you give it 1 week and then come back? And if you still want me to take them off, I'll take them off. I'll refund your money. We'll move forward. Okay? So here's what happened about day 3 or day 4. I started feeling a little bit better, started graduating to some solid foods. You know what I'm saying? By day 7, I looked in the mirror and I could see a little bit. I think I could see a little bit. I don't know if it was real, but I could see a little bit, right? Started to see that breakthrough a little bit, so I went back into Dr. B's office 7 days later. I said, come on. You're right. You're right. I'll stay with you. Let's do it. He said, Dusty, I'm so glad you decided that. All right? And then he turned to me and he said, now get in the chair. I said, wait, excuse me. Excuse me, dude. What do you mean get in the chair? Like, we already did this whole process. He said, well, you know that first wire we have on is kind of like a temporary wire. Now we're going to put in the real wire. I'm like, oh, now we're going to put in the real wire. And you know what we did week in, week out, team? Every week I would go in and they would do what they were trained to do, and they would make the adjustments necessary. They would put me in pain all over again, intentionally knowing that what they were doing was leading us to the end result of what I desired. You guys tracking me on this? David, at one point, 36 years old, I had to do the rubber bands. You know what I'm saying? You know what it's like to have rubber bands in your mouth walking into a listing appointment? I'd be like, right? Difficult. You guys tracking with me on this? Hey, everybody, look here. Look here. Look at it. Look at it. Yeah, yeah, look at there. You know what that is? That right there, family reunion, is an $8,000 smile. Hey, and if you ask me would I do it all over again, the answer would be yes. Here's why. Because the breakthrough and the new result was worth every dime I paid, every pain that I went through, every adjustment that was made so that I could get to where I am today. You guys tracking me on this? I could have never gotten there on my own ability. I had to bring in the people who knew how to get there, be held accountable to it, make the adjustments, walk through the pain of the I don't want tos, right? The path to purposeful and the path to success is paved with the I don't want tos. Can I tell you what I do every single night as a 44-year-old man now? I put in my retainer before I go to sleep. Yes, I do. Right? Do you know why? Because that makes sure that all that I have put into this continues to stay in the manner that I desire for it to be. Right? It's the accountability on a daily basis that keeps my teeth straight. Let me ask you a question. What in your business and your life, remember that's how we started today, right? What in your business and your life is crooked, and you need to bring some focus and accountability and some adjustments and some systems and models that are going to make it straight. Here's what I can promise you. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to feel good all the time. I can tell you this, that when you get to your new address, you're going to love the result and where you are. I'll finish by telling you this. For us to move from entrepreneurial to purposeful, it is a choice that you get to make. Remember that final circle? Draw the circle around yourself. Work on everything inside of it. This is your choice today on whether or not you choose to move from entrepreneurial to purposeful, to break through, build the new habits. We have a saying in the Oglesby household. It's an affirmation we use. We're going to coach you to affirmations in the Bold Room, and here's what it is. My kids stand on their chair every day. They're 9 years old. Come on, 9-year-old twins. They stand on their chair and they say, I choose to make good choices today because the choices I make me. Come on now. Now, right now, that's like, do I hit my brother? Do I not hit my brother? Okay. I think we can all agree, though, as they get older, those choices get bigger, yes or no? So do the results and the consequences of them. What are the choices that you're making today? Would you make the choice today to get uncomfortable and bring focus and accountability? Hire a coach. Bring in someone who's gone before you. And create and make sure that we follow the systems and the models. You make the choice and the choice makes you. What are you going to choose today? Hey team, thank you for allowing me the gift and opportunity today. I love you. Continue to lean in and make sure that we make the choices to change our life, change our business, and change our legacies. Love each and every single one of you. Take care. Bye-bye.